The spark is melting in the dark. All the sweet green icing flowing down. Someone left the cake on.
Welcome back, America, and welcome to Vic Matus of the Washington Free Beacon's brand new theme song.
Oh, come
He
on.
specifically requested this because he told me he was born in New York City, and it's melting in the rain right now. Vic, which hospital were you born at in New York City?
I was born in a hospital that no longer exists, Hugh, because I'm that old. It was called the French Polyclinic Hospital, and I think ultimately it became part of Cabrini Medical Center.
Okay. Now, I spent the first part of the program telling everyone in Manhattan who's a Republican to please vote for Andrew Cuomo, the owner of WABC, Katz. And everybody know John Katzimatidis. That he asked Curtis, who works for him, please drop out. What do you think is going to happen on November 4?
I think that on November 4, Mamdani is going to be the next elected the next mayor of New York. I hate to tell you that, but I just don't see. In a perfect world, Curtis Sliwa would make an announcement. He could have made one a long time ago already, saying, everybody, I appreciate the support and the love you've given me that's brought me 13, 15, 18% or whatever the current number is. And I want all those people to throw all of your support to Andrew Cuomo to put him over the top. Ex-former Governor Cuomo is not the most perfect candidate, obviously, but he is better than the Democratic socialist. I mean, we're talking about, the lesser of two evils. And it's very obvious to me which direction New York seems to be heading in. And it's going to be interesting in a very dark way, Hugh, because just like the way I used to follow German politics in the 90s going into the 2000s, when the German Green Party took over, they had some really radical, crazy ideas. And I asked the chairman and founder at the time how they had to change in order to remain in power. And he said, yeah, a lot of that rhetoric they had to tone down. They had to become realistic. And obviously they became part of a coalition that sent German troops, to Bosnia and Kosovo for the first time since, outside of the country since World War II. Mamdani can make a similar shift when he becomes mayor and saying, all that stuff I talked about, the free buses and raising taxes by billions of dollars, I'm not going to do any of those things in the free grocery stores because reality is hitting me. I'm very young, inexperienced, and I'm learning the hard way. This is what it takes to stay in power. He could do that, Hugh, but something tells me he's instead going to lean in and find out the hard way that his ideas do not work because he absolutely cannot fathom disappointing his base. And that base is very hard radical left.
Vic, do you have any idea how many people work for the city of New York? I had to look this up for a column I wrote for Fox tomorrow. City employees, not state and federal, just city. Have any idea how many people work for the city of New York?
No, I have no idea. There's about, 8 million people total in the city of New York?
8.5 million. 8.5 million. 300,000 on the payroll. 300,000 people. He runs the state legislator's office, which has, I looked this up as well, between 8 and 12 people, depending on how they divide up the budget. So he's run for 6 years a state legislative office of between 8 and 12 people. What do you think he's going to do? He won't have any idea how to do this.
Like I said, I mean, he's going to have to find out the hard way. People so love the charisma. He's a smooth talker. I mean, the last debate, if anyone actually cared to watch it, I know you and I were watching this debate, there's no there. It's all very thin, right? And he can't actually back up his words with any actions. And he has such great difficulty in these interviews, just the inability for him to say that what Hamas did is terrible and Hamas needs to stop. And it's just full stop, a great thing that those hostages are being returned. He couldn't get himself to say that, among other things regarding New York policies. So again, he's going to learn the hard way. New Yorkers are going to flee. You already know. I mean, obviously, folks like Carl Icahn and others have left New York City and abandoned Wall Street for West Palm Beach, and others are going to do so. Absolutely.
Miami can become a banking capital and a finance capital, and so can Dallas, and they have zero income tax. New York, if Mamdani has his way, will go to 16.8% for the highest people. 4 years ago, Eric Adams got 753,801 votes. Curtis Sliwa got 313,385 votes. He's not going to do that well this time. if his boss at WABC doesn't want him to do it, is it just personal venom on the part of Curtis doing this? I know he hates Andrew Cuomo, but why would you do this?
Yeah, I don't know. Other than, I mean, I can't imagine that he's fooled himself into somehow thinking that, within the next few days, he's able to pull off, this come from behind victory, or somehow Andrew Cuomo is going to leave. And there were rumors that he was going to be tied with Cuomo, but they're still woefully behind Mamdani. That's the biggest problem of all, even if he were to overtake Andrew Cuomo's lead. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know Curtis Sliwa personally. I was always a fan of his. In the 1980s, we'd go to New York. You'd see the Guardian Angels and the Red Berets. You'd see them in the subways. You'd see them on the streets. And you're like, great, somebody is doing something about crime in the city, even if they don't have guns. And I appreciated all that work in the service. He knows more about the city than any of these guys because he's been involved in city politics for this long, for all these decades. At the same time, he has to come to understand he doesn't have it. And he needs to make a sort of responsible choice here because there's a lot at stake in New York. And again, I talked to a guy who has, a very wealthy investor businessman in New York City, and he talked to all his young people because they're all voting for Mamdani. He said, why are you doing it? And they think, oh, because I can't afford housing. He says he's going to help me. And this guy said, and this guy is no conservative, Hugh, and he said, mind you, when things get bad, I can leave. But you can't. They'll be stuck there.
Well, I had a student at Hobart and William Smith College on Friday, where I was, asked me about the free buses. And I said, there isn't anything free. Someone has to pay the driver. Someone has to buy the gas. Someone has to watch them at night. Someone's got to change the oil. The whole free stuff is nonsense, Curtis. I mean, Vic, how does he get away with it?
Yeah, people want, they want to believe this so badly because they understand, and it is a big problem about, living in New York City and trying to have a decent living and not having to live so far away in order to get to your job if your job happens to be, say, in Manhattan. And so they want so badly to believe that he has the answers to it, but he definitely doesn't. As you mentioned, nothing is free. It's not like these workers are going to, for the sake of the glory of the state, just put in their time. I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if these young socialists were saying, well, it's never been tried before. That's why we're going to give it a real try. And they'd have no idea.
Oh, I got that.
About the historical.
Oh, I got that.
Oh, man.
I got the Cuban healthcare system is best. I got that, too. It's like nobody understands any history since the wall fell down. Vic Matus can be followed at Victorino Matus. He can be heard on the Getting Hammered podcast, and he'll be back here next week. Thank you, Vic. I'll be right back, America. Stay tuned.
Portions of the Hugh Hewitt Show are brought to you in part by the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews.